We are on to the last step of the Vignette CSA. At this point in the process, you have a final vignette, which would be a little bit longer than this one, because you have to have a minimum of 250 words, and this one is 207 words. Remember, it can't be more than 750 words, which is about 3 pages double-spaced. Today, you should be looking at your 1-point rubric, which is attached to your 4-point rubric. You can always use the 4-point rubric. This is how you'll be scored by me. But the 1-point rubric focuses it on at least proficient. So that's this category here. And you'll notice if you look at your 4-point rubric that most of these things in the proficient category, all of these descriptions, are elements we've been working on in class and we've made videos and practice for. But the 1-point rubric right here is a minimum requirement. Self and peer evaluation, including actionable next steps. So that means we need to go through this document like we have for our other CSAs with ourselves and with a partner. You could use today to do that. It asks you to read the vignette and then decide, does this description fit what you read? If you think your vignette is focused on one thing, you would circle that description. And then in this box, state what you think you could do to make it even more focused. If you don't think yours is completely focused at this point, you would go ahead and write what you're going to do here. The next part deals with literary devices. If you have literary devices, you would circle the appropriate descriptions. If not, you would need to write here what you would do in order to get to at least this. If you have most of this, then you would write here how you could elevate that even more. The next one asks you to look at the sequencing of ideas. That's the order of the ideas, which we practice in class with our Do Now, and there's also a video on it. The next stage asks about sentence length and variety. There's a video for that as well. We just worked on that yesterday. Does the language sound like you? Is your writer's voice authentic? If you need help with that, see me in class. And then double check your spelling and punctuation. Do you in fact have proper nouns capitalized, names of things? Are all pronoun I capitalized? Do you have basic punctuation, whatnot? If the description matches what you have in your vignette, then circle it and talk about here what you could do better. If you can't circle here any of these, or whichever ones you can't, then write on the left side what you could do in order to get to at least here. Now you'll notice that the minimum requirements also ask for an artist rationale, evidence of purposeful choices, aka an annotated Google Doc. That means that you need to go back and annotate the devices you used. Here's an example from our class sample of me annotating some of the things we've done with the house vignette. Remember when we added the word minuscule? I note that I'm leveling up my language. Here I've annotated or highlighted and annotated the metaphor imagery we added, and I explained it in the note. When the house smells like, when the house is clean, it smells like I am standing in a row of lemon trees. Remember we added this description here? Well, that's right here. Use a simile. The wolf, wolf, wolfing, onomatopoeia. So I highlight what we have, what I've used, and then I tell you in the comments. If you're not sure how to do that, you simply highlight a passage, and then you'll have a little add comment box here. If you don't see that, click up to the corner, comment. Here we have, when we are cooking, it usually smells like a Mexican restaurant. We could write here, here is a simile we are using to compare the smell of the house to a Mexican restaurant. And then I'll notice that I did not capitalize Mexican, so I will probably go back and fix that too. Once you have an annotated vignette that tells us your purposeful use of literary devices, your purposeful use of figurative language, etc., then you have the basic requirements for your vignette, and you'll be able to turn it in. The 1-point rubric, ideas clearly connected, the annotation telling us what you've done and how you know you've done it, and then your basic capitalization and grammar. Hope this helps.